Hola, ni hao, hello, konnichiwa, hello, annyeong, and hello everyone. Good day, today is a special day for all of us, especially we are safe in this time of pandemic. But also today our Group 4 first presenter will discuss about educational system in selected countries of the world. But before that, let me introduce myself. I am Shala Ribon, a presenter also in Group 4. And we hope that you learn something and gain more knowledge about this topic. Our group is aiming to achieve the goal, and that is you all learn, and in the end of this topic, you gain and strive to build our education system and also the learning objectives. Identify the definition and concept of education system, the importance of education system in every citizens, challenges of education system, educational system in selected countries, and importance of basic education.
And also we have your quotes from Rabbi Shishmaila. Most often a country is poor when its educational system is poor and individuals do not strive to become educated. Our group wants to get some opinion about this quote, but we don't have so much time and our time is limited only, so we have decided that we all want you to remember this quote or write it down, and after we discuss, we hope that this quote will remain to all of you and understand what is all about this quote. It's easy, right? But when we analyze it, the writer has a deeper meaning. That's why we are going to tackle this topic, and we all want you to listen and take some notes so that you can answer all of the questions that we prepared. And that's all, and I'll give it to the next presenter, also from Group 4.
Hi, I am your first presenter, Charmaine Nicole G. Panaligan, and our topic for today was the lesson 1, a closer look at the educational systems of selected countries of the world. I believe that education is the key to success, so if you believe to, study hard. What is educational system? The system of formalized transmission of knowledge and values operating within a given society. In short, it is our knowledge and learnings and values that we learn from our schools or from our society. Education system comprised everything that goes beyond the public educating schools students at the federal, states, or community levels. Educational system is an arrangement of a teacher and a student. The importance of education system. Good education system is important for us to create a better society. Education system is important for the students to gain more knowledge and values by their global teacher. For our current situations and for our next generations. It means that we are the key of better future. If many students have a good education system, students can address some of the global issues of the world, even if it is big or small. Having intelligence, good skills, and values are very important to achieve our goals for our life. And the education system is the process of our achievement. Challenges of education system. The number 1 is the quality of education. Good quality of education is very important in students' education system. This is one of a challenge because many students have different cultures and beliefs. And then budget for education. Some students are not financially stable in life, so this is one of a problem of a good education system of the world. Students must interrupt their studies because they are lack of financial. And then brain drain. If the student have anxiety or depression, brain drain, it will cause a bad effect for their studies. And lastly is lack of facilities and teacher shortage. For good education system process, facilities and teachers are very important in education. How to be a world class? If you want to be a world class, you need to have a commitment and passion on everything you do, even if it is talent, hobbies, works, or professions. Because according to my research, being world-class is a passion and commitment to your professions. Being world-class is also giving our best to teaching, and being world-class starts right inside the classroom. So, as a student, if you want to be a world-class, you need to have a passion and commitment to your studies. Global Teacher was the center of students' education system. Global Teacher must have a wider range of knowledge that they are share to their students. Global Teacher must also have a master skills and competencies which can address global demands. In our world, there are different global issues and global demands. So, as a global teacher, they need to have a master skills and competencies. And lastly, possess attitudes and values that are acceptable to multicultural communities. As the model of the students, teacher must respect the different culture and beliefs of their student. We have a goals why we need a good education system. The number one is to increase knowledge of the people of the world. Gaining more knowledge and learnings are so much important for our society to address global issues and demands. The second is resolutions of global demands. So as the people of Earth, we need to resolve the problems of our world, like serving our Mother Earth and planting many trees. And number three was increase fluency in foreign languages. We students have to learn foreign languages for our future work. Like in tourism, if we work soon, we met lots of different kinds of people, so it is important for us to learn more foreign languages and others. And lastly, for us to develop our tolerant attitudes towards different peoples and cultures. If we are educated person, we learn to adjust our tolerant attitudes towards different peoples and cultures. So to all students, study hard, make your dream come true, and get blessed. Again, I am Charmaine Nicole G. Panaligan, your first presenter. And now I am giving it to the next presenter, also in Group 4. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gaylene Panaligan, and I am going to discuss the educational system of Australia and China. Educational system of Australia, a country that has a high-quality education system. For basic education, primary school covers 6 years, 6 years old to 12 years old. Primary schools offer programs from foundation to year 6. Primary education focuses on developing essential literacy, numeracy, intellectual and social emotional skills. For secondary school, it covers 6 years. Students move to secondary school and at the age of 12, and it is mandatory to complete their 2 years of junior high school till the year 10, after which they have the option to discontinue their education or can pursue their future course of study. 4 years for junior high school, that is compulsory, and they will only get a year 10 certificate. 2 years for senior high school, that is not compulsory, and they will get a 12-year certificate. It is not compulsory because after the year 10, students may get a job or go to TAFE or the tertiary school, technical and further education. For college, 3 to 6 years. After completing final year of secondary school, students head for their higher education that awards degree for bachelor's, master's, and doctoral studies. Mostly students from overseas come for education at this level. Academic year begins from March to November, and their long vacation starts to December 1 to February 28, and English is the language of instruction. For the requirement for the higher education, it is the Senior Secondary Certificate of Education. The main stage of university education leads to undergraduate studies, arts, science, and commerce, that is 3 years, education engineering, 4 years, veterinary, science, dentistry, architecture, 5 years, medicine and surgery, 6 years, and for the postgraduate studies, master degree, 1 to 2 years, and lastly, the doctorate degree. For the educational system in China, this is the largest educational system of the world, which composed of 9 million teachers and 200 million elementary and high school students. The educational system here is highly centralized. Course syllabi are written by scientists and professors hired by National Education Commission. Subject matter and instructional contents are uniform for all. So China is one of the most progressive countries in terms of economic and business development, with an education system that offers children many opportunities to thrive in the future. The Chinese school system is often perceived as breeding ground for highly educated future professionals. Next is the new educational system include for primary grade, that is 6 years devoted to develop of cognitive skills. At the age of 7 or 6, children begin primary school education. All in all, 60% of the allocated time of instruction is dedicated to Chinese and math, also called as the Big Two. For the high school, which covers 6 years, 3 years for junior high school and 3 years for senior high school. Between the ages of 12 and 18, children attend to middle school in China. Public schools are often divided into junior middle school and senior middle school, and each of them is 3 years long. And lastly, for the university, which covers 6 years, it varieties of technical and vocational schools.
Good morning everyone again, I am Shala Ribon and I'm going to explain the United Kingdom educational system. We all know that the United Kingdom is one of the influential center of finance and culture. This is the home of Shakespeare, also known as Bard of Avon, meaning England's national poet. Also, the United Kingdom is the home of the best universities around the world. Why does the UK provide a good outcome of education and known around the world? What is the system they have done? Education is compulsory for 5 to 16 years of age, meaning to say that you must go to school no matter what. When you are in the age of 5, you need and it's mandatory to all. And also, they extended it to 18 years old for those born on or after 1st of September 1997. The government wants all teenagers or 18 years of age to be more independent and be educated at some point. That's why they extended it. All subjects in primary school are taught by the same teacher. Just like here in our country, when we are in kindergarten, so all children can be comfortable with the teacher. The quality of education in United Kingdom. We also know that to become known around the world, you must have the quality of education that country must have. Promotes spiritual, moral, cultural, mental, and physical development are mandatory. They treat children as one of the successor and the future of the world. That's why they promote and they also prepare children in the near future. Also, in United Kingdom, they have religious education. United Kingdom is a Christian country, which means they value the religion. Sex education and career education for secondary students. We prepare children for a better future, right? And also they want children to learn from the society and be responsible in every action. That's why they want students to learn about sex education and career education. How much is the cost of education in United Kingdom? Public or private school, free of charge, and state funded, which means that public schools are funded by the state. Also, in the United Kingdom, public is also called private school because everyone can afford and also any members of the public could send their child provided. They could afford the fees, meaning to say that you can also pay fees in public school. Independent school, charge fee to the parents. University's fee and financial support. Tuition. For undergraduate, 9,250 a year. Per peso, 529,799.73 pesos. And 10,350.38 US dollar. For accelerated degrees, 11,100 euro. Fast track courses. Example is ALS, Alternative Learning System, 12,425.56 US dollar and 634,254 pesos. For WELS universities, 9,000 euro. Confederal University located at Cardiff, Wales and has 8 universities, 515,764 pesos and 10,074 US dollar. But also you can have loans when you are studying in United Kingdom. For accelerated degree, 9,250 euro to 11,100 euro. For private universities, 6,165 euro to 7,200 euro. Good news, foreigners can get a loan in United Kingdom. You don't need to have a UK passport or citizenship to access. They only consider applicants who have a reasonably long time. Calendars in United Kingdom. 380 sessions or 190 days during school year, meaning to say that students have 6.5 months in a year. The basic structure. For basic education, English, mathematics, and science are the mandatory subject. We have here the stages that the system are following. For 3 to 5 years old, foundation stage is not yet mandatory to national curriculum, meaning the national curriculum including mathematics, science, and English are not required to have. For 5 to 7 years old, stage 1 mandates core subjects including mathematics, English, science, and non-core design or technology, history, and PE. For 7 to 11 years old, stage 2, difficult topics and also sex education. For stage 3, 11 to 14 years old, mandates Key 1 and 2, foreign language and information computer technology, which is the core subject. Stage 4, 14 to 16 years old, statutory program, means relating to rules or laws. Post-16 education, not mandatory. We have discussed that 5 to 16 years old is a mandatory. When you are in 16, you can choose whether you go on college or work. Certificate for Post-16 Education. GCE, General Certificate of Education. VCE, Vocational Certificate of Education. Foundation and Intermediate GNVQ, General National Vocational Qualification, are wisely used 16 to 19 years old. For higher education, programs in universities, 3-year course, honors degree, 4-year course, master's degree, 2 more years, and doctorate degree, 3 years. And that's all for United Kingdom, and I'll give it to the next presenter, also from Group 4.
Hello everyone, I am Ranreb Patrick Kyle Morales and I will discuss all about the educational system of USA and the Philippines. So first, let's talk about the educational system of the USA. Let's talk about the educational structure of the USA. Prior to higher education, American students attend primary and secondary school for a combined total of 12 years. These years are referred to as the 1st through 12th grades. Around age 6, US children begin primary school, which is most commonly called elementary school. They attend 5 or 6 years and then go on to secondary school. Secondary school consists of 2 programs. The first is middle school or junior high school, and the second program is high school. A diploma or certificate is awarded upon graduation from high school. After graduating high school or the 12th grade, US students may go on to college or university. College or university study is known as higher education. So, let's talk about the grading system of America. Just like American students, you will have to submit your academic transcript as part of your application for admission to university or college. Academic transcripts are official copies of your academic work in the USA. This includes your grades and grade point average, which are measurement of your academic achievement. Courses are commonly graded using percentage, which are converted into letter grades. Let's talk about the academic year in USA. The school calendar usually begins in August or September and continues through May or June. The majority of the new students begin in autumn, so it is a good idea for international students to also begin their US university studies at this time. There is a lot of excitement at the beginning of the school year, and students form many great friendships during this time, as they are all adjusting to a new pace of academic life. Additionally, many courses are designed for students to take them in sequence, starting in autumn and continuing through the year. The academic year at many schools is composed of 2 terms called semesters. Some schools use a 3-term calendar known as the trimester system. Still, others further divide the year into the quarter system of 4 terms, including an optional summer session. Basically, if you exclude the summer session, the academic year is either comprised of 2 semesters or 3 quarter terms. So, let's talk about the educational level in USA. First level, a student who is attending a college or university and has not earned a bachelor's degree is studying at the undergraduate level. It typically takes about 4 years to earn a bachelor's degree. You can either begin in your studies in pursuit of bachelor's degree at the community college or a 4-year university or college. Second level, presently, a college or university graduate with a bachelor's degree may want to seriously think about graduate study in order to enter certain profession or advance their career. This degree usually mandatory for higher level positions in library science, engineering, behavioral health, and education. Third level, many graduate schools consider the attainment of a master's degree the first step towards earning a PhD or the doctorate, but at other schools, students may prepare directly for a doctorate without also earning a master's degree. It may take 3 or more years to earn a PhD degree. For international students, it may take as long as 5 or 6 years. Let's talk about the types of US higher education. Number 1. State college or university. A state school is supported and run by a state or local government. Each of the 50 US states operate at least one state university and possibly several state colleges. Many of these public university schools have the name of the state or the actual word state in their names. For example, Washington State University and the University of Michigan. Number 2. Private college or university. These schools are privately run as opposed to being run by a branch of the government. Tuition will usually be higher than state schools. Often, private US universities and colleges are smaller in size than state schools. Religiously affiliated universities and colleges are private schools. Nearly all these schools welcome students of all religions and beliefs, yet there are a percentage of schools that prefer to admit students who hold similar religious beliefs as those in which the school was founded. Number 3. Community college. Community colleges are 2-year colleges that award an associate's degree, transferable, as well as certifications. There are many types of associate degrees, but the most important distinguishing factor is whether or not the degree is transferable. Usually, there will be 2 primary degree tracks, one for academic transfer and the other prepares students to enter the workforce straight away. University transfer degrees are general Associate of Arts or Associate of Science. Not likely to be transferable are the Associate of Applied Sciences degree and Certificates of Completion. Number 4. Institute of Technology. An Institute of Technology is a school that provides at least 4 years of study in science and technology. Some have graduate programs while others offer short-term courses.
Hi everyone, I am Kiran Remo and now I am going to present to you the educational system in South Africa. Education system in South Africa is governed by two national departments, which is the Department of Basic Education or DBE and the Department of Higher Education and Training or DHET. DBE are responsible for primary and secondary, while the DHET are responsible for tertiary and vocational training. So the Department of Basic Education is the one that helps or provide free education in public school in South Africa. They are funded in a whole or in a part of taxations. The aid used for students came from the government funds or the tax levies on the commercial buildings. So the school funded by the government here are not far from the countries with this kind of education programs. That state education generally encompasses primary and secondary education for 4 years to 18 years old. So let's talk about the Department of Higher Education and Training that is responsible for tertiary and vocational training. They are the ones that can help the adult educator or the college student to gain new forms of knowledge, skills, attitude, and values. So it can mean any forms of learning adults engage in beyond traditional schooling, encompassing basic literacy to personal fulfillment as a lifelong learner and to ensure the fulfillment of an individual. I just want to add, the Department of Basic Education pays a portions of teacher's salary in the government schools, but all independent schools are funded privately. So both departments, the DBE and the DHE, are funded with the central government of taxes. And now, we're going to talk about the basic education in South Africa. The Department of Basic Education officially groups grade into two bands, called the General Education and Training or GET, which includes grade 0 plus to grade 1 to grade 9, and Further Education and Training or FET, which includes grade 10 to grade 12, as well as non-higher education vocational training facilities. The GET or General Education and Training band is subdivided further into two phases, called the Foundation phase that includes grade 0 plus to grade 1 to 3, the intermediate phase that includes grade 4 to grade 6, and the senior phase that includes grade 7 to grade 9. The administrative structure of most ordinary schools in South Africa do not reflect the division of bands and phases. However, for historical reason, most schools are either primary schools and the secondary school, also known as a high school, that includes from grade 8 to grade 12. So let's talk about the standard education in South Africa. South Africa has about 30,000 schools with 26,000 of them are receiving public funding from the government taxes. The majority of 1,600 private schools in South Africa are located in Gauteng and the Western Cape. Students who come here are those who have the ability to study in private, where their parents are obligated to pay their tuition fees and other expenses that the student have to pay. But there are also some lower income families who come here or they are studying here, where they receive their funds from the government taxes. But usually those belonging to the lower income families are going to the government schools. The compulsory in South Africa. Education is compulsory from the age 7 or grade 1 to the age of 15 or grade 9. The education system runs all the way from grade 0, otherwise known as reception, to grade 12. From grade 10 to grade 12, education is optional and is sometimes taught in a specialist technical, community or private college, where they take a schooling leaving exam known as the matric. In 2015, only 70.7% of the students passed the matric test, with only half of students getting more than 50%. So aside from international schools, there are three main types of schools in South Africa: public schools, and the government body funded schools, and the private schools. Public schools in South Africa rely on the government funding, and provincial authorities operate these schools. So the quality of educations varies significantly between areas. Education standard tends to be higher in the bigger cities, and however, with the lack of government financing, some schools are lack of qualified teachers and specialists equipped. the higher education in South Africa. 9 of the South African university features in the 700 of the QS World University ranking for 2016. International students need to find out whether their qualifications from their home country will be recognized at a South African university before applying directly to their establishment of choice. Degrees in South Africa are awarded in standard style with undergraduates, masters, and PhD qualifications, albeit without a uniform grading system. A shortage of scholarships and beneficiaries is one of the downsides of going to universities in South Africa. As an international student, while some universities have scholarships that are open to the students from around the world, preference is usually given to native students, and with this in mind, the cost of studying can be relatively high as the universities set their own admission fees. The average cost for the international students and the University of Cape Town in 2016 was 75,000 pesos for undergraduate degrees and 47,500 rather for a master degrees. Thank you so much guys for your listening, and now I'll give it to the next presenter, also from the Group 4.
Ohayo gozaimasu Japan, magandang umaga Pilipinas. I am Michael Pereña, your news anchor for today, bringing you the latest information about the educational system of Japan. For the headlines, curriculum outline of Japanese educational system, let us find out. School timetable, academic calendar, and school organization to be tackled one by one, and special features of Japanese education to be discussed right away. Curriculum outline of Japanese educational system, let us find out. Angelo, take it away. The Japanese school system primarily consists of 6-year elementary schools, 3-year junior high schools, and 3-year high schools, followed by 2 or 3-year junior colleges or a 4-year colleges. Compulsory education lasts for 9 years through elementary and junior high school. School exchanges during Japan educational travel are mainly implemented in junior high and high schools. For physically or mentally challenged students, there is a system called Special Needs Education to support special students to develop their self-reliance and thus enhance their social participation. School timetable, academic calendar, and school organization to be tackled one by one. Angelo spread the information. Public schools in Japan have classes 5 days a week, from Monday to Friday. There are schools that have classes on Saturday. In junior high and high schools, there are 6 class periods each day, typically lasting 50 minutes for each. After classes, students clean the classrooms in shifts and then start their club activities. There are a variety of clubs such as cultural and sport ones. In principle, the school year begins in April and ends in March of the following year. Most schools adopt a 3-semester system, with the first semester from April to August, the second semester from September to December, and the third semester from January to March. There is also summer break from the end of July to the end of August, a winter break from the end of December to the beginning of January, and the spring break from the end of March to the beginning of April. Each school has a principal, a vice principal, teachers, a school nurse, and other administration staff. As the chief executive, the principal assumes all responsibilities of the school, including the courses provided and related administrative work. The vice principal supports the principal to manage administrative affairs of the school and to be in charge of his students' educational activities and curriculum as well. Furthermore, in order to ensure schools' smooth operation, teachers take on various responsibilities such as taking care of educational activities, students' school life, and employment guidance for students after graduation. Many schools also establish their own committees, for example, a International Exchange Promotion Committee and others. Special features of Japanese education to be discussed. Angelo has an update. The level of Japanese education is high even by the world standards. In OECD's Program for International Student Assessment, aimed at 15-year-olds, Japanese students recorded high levels of achievement, particularly in science-related areas. Educational activities outside of school also flourish, and programs leading to advanced education are implemented. Enrollment in high schools, the second half of secondary education, reaches over 90%, and the enrollments in college are also high, reaching over 50%. Admission to high schools and colleges is mainly through entrance exams held from January to March. English is a compulsory subject in junior high and high schools. There are also elementary schools that introduce English education from intermediate grade classes. In some high schools, apart from English, students are also allowed to take courses in Chinese, Korean, French, and German. And that is the latest information about the educational system of Japan. This is Michael Pereña, giving the floor to the next presenter of our group. Good morning.
So hello everyone, again I am Rev. Patrick Morales, and let's talk about the education system of the Philippines. Education in the Philippines. Before, education in the Philippines is offered through formal and non-formal systems. Formal education typically spans 14 years and is structured in a 6+4+4 system. 6 years primary education, 4 years of secondary education, and 4 years of higher education leading to a bachelor's degree. But when the time goes by, with the trifocalization of the educational system in the country, 3 government agencies handle each level of education. DepEd sets overall education standards and mandates a standardized tests for the K-12 basic education system, which means that formal education is now structured in 6+6+4 system because of the additional 2 years which we typically call the senior high school level. On the other hand, at the higher level, the Commission on Higher Education, or the CHED, supervises and regulates the college and universities. Meanwhile, the test that regulates and accredits technical and vocational education programs and institutions in the country. They are the ones who issued those NC1, NC2, and NC3 certificates in different types of categories or courses. Let's talk about the status of education in the Philippines. For the academic year 2017-2018, about 83% of K-12 students attended public schools and 17% of the rest attended private schools or were homeschooled. In 2021, the Philippines became the last country in the world to open its classroom to children again. When the coronavirus first struck, the DepEd continued its remote learning system from 2020 so that no children will left behind since academic freeze has denied. Structure and organization of basic education. The educational system is divided into different levels. Pre-primary is available in the Philippines for children below the age of 6. From the age of 3 to 5 students first attend the nursery school and then they attend kindergarten. So after that, 6 years of primary education is compulsory and provided free of charge in public schools. The other one is the upper secondary, which is called the senior high school, and the last one is the higher education. This is what we call the college level, leading to a different bachelor's degree. School year in the Philippines. So, Mr. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, upon the recommendation of the DepEd Secretary, has approved that September 13, 2021 as the opening date of school year, and it shall end by June 24, 2022. The school year shall consist of 209 school days. The higher education in the Philippines. The higher education in the Philippines is offered through various degree programs, commonly known as courses in the Philippines, by a wide selection of colleges and universities, also known as higher education institutions. These are administered and regulated by the CHED. The higher education in the Philippines is offered through various degree programs. In the Philippines, college is a tertiary institution that typically offer a number of specialized courses in the sciences, liberal arts, or in specific professional areas, example, nursing, hotel and restaurant management, and information technology. Meanwhile, to be classified as a university, such as state universities and colleges, CHED supervise higher education institution, private higher education institution, and community colleges must meet the following requirements. Operate at least 8 different degree programs including at least 6 undergraduate courses, specifically a 4-year course in liberal arts, a 4-year course in science and mathematics, a 4-year course in the social sciences, and the last one is a minimum of 3 other active and recognized professional courses leading to government licensure, and at least 2 graduate level courses leading to doctoral degree.
The aim of basic education is to teach skills and knowledge that are important in life and to secure a foundation of equal education for everyone. Further, aims are to support students' humanistic growth and their growth as ethically responsible members of society, and to promote education and equality in society. The goal of basic education is to provide the school-age population and young adults with skills, knowledge, and values to become caring, self-reliant, productive, and patriotic citizens. According to legislations, primary education is free and compulsory for children aged 7 to 12 years old. We all strive for a better future for our country and for the new generation. We all need to study and strive to become educated. The government is trying their best for all of us to gain knowledge and be the next successor. Just wait and focus on your goal. Who wants to become poor? No one, right? Because we all want a better life for our family. You are the individual in what Reba Shishminda said. If you are not striving to become much better and be educated. Thank you, good luck everyone, and God bless.